Hi, my name is Edward Dirgo. I'm 32 years old. I was born and raised in Milford, Connecticut, now living in New Haven, Connecticut, and I'm a graver. So a graver is a person that, goes out to cemeteries, different cemeteries, to go find famous people's graves. So it all started 4 years ago. I want to say about late 2016, early 2017. I actually wanted to just go out and find rare and odd places, that were in Connecticut. And I started doing that stuff, and they had a list that you go through to see if there was anything, that was really cool looking or interesting looking or whatever. And I came across like some famous people's graves on the list there, and basically that's how it all started. So I've been doing this stuff for 4 years. So what I usually do is I go out to the cemeteries, I go out to find where these famous people are buried at. There is a website called Find a Grave that you could actually look up, where they are buried at. Unfortunately, sometimes it's not the most reliable source, so sometimes you could always, call the office of the cemetery and ask them if it doesn't show anything on there. But what I usually do is I go out and I find the graves, and then I take pictures of them and also take selfies of them as well, just to, prove that I actually was with them at their graves. And, I usually pay respects to them as well. So what I usually do is I write like a paragraph or so, or a very short synopsis of who they were, when they were alive, and just, like what they did in their life in general that a lot of people didn't really know about them. I've actually had a lot of people ask me and tell me that it was very weird of me to go to these grave sites and take pictures. Especially like people would say it to my face, and they would say, "Oh my God, Ed, it's just so weird that you're going to these graves." They would be wondering why I would be doing this stuff and taking pictures and selfies and stuff with it. It's just like I said, just to prove that I was actually there at the grave, and to pay my respects to them and everything, because a lot of these people we tend to forget. In my 4 years of doing this stuff, I've seen over 1,000 graves already. And I want to say the most interesting one, I would say probably Whitney Houston's grave, her daughter Bobby Christina's grave, also Harry Houdini's grave, I would say, which is all the way in Queens, New York. I've probably driven about, I want to say 3 hours, about 3 hours away from where I live at, to go see these graves, 2 to 3 hours away. Yes, it is a long drive, but it's basically well worth it if you are actually into this stuff. I've actually seen Thomas Edison's grave, which is in Orange County, New Jersey over there, so that was very beautiful. It's actually on his, residence where he used to live at. So, yeah, I mean, it's a really cool experience, just to go out that far and see these people. So there have been so many people out there that I know of. I've actually realized and noticed, years ago, that there are pages on Facebook of grave groups, graver groups, and all that. These people, they're from like California, or they're from like other states that do the same thing as me. I actually have a friend of mine, his name is Chuck. He actually has been doing it for about 30 to 40 years. And he's a very, he's a master at it, with finding these graves and everything. And I'm actually friends with him on Facebook, and he's a really good friend of mine. And he, he's a resource that I use to, help myself find these graves too as well. When I first started this stuff, I didn't know if I was gonna get a fan base or not. I didn't know if anybody was gonna actually follow me through my journeys of graving and finding these graves and stuff and everything. A couple of years down the road, I had a couple of my friends from Facebook actually hit me up, and they were very intrigued, and they actually asked me and told me, they were like, "Oh, Ed, you're such, you're great at finding these graves. Where do you find these graves?" It's really nice just to have people reach out to me about this stuff. I actually had a friend named Laura. I'm still friends with her till this day, and we actually went out to New Jersey because most of her family members are out in New Jersey, and I didn't know that. And when I became friends with her, she was telling me about her family history and everything. And we ended up finding some of her family members out in New Jersey there, and it made her actually very happy, just to see her family members that died years ago and everything. And I'm very happy, to assist people with that kind of stuff and everything.